your boy Prodigy here, and I have a special guest to interview today. I'm super excited. None other than Casual Yugi Stuff himself, aka Jamie. How's it going, brother?
Not too bad, man. I'm really well. I'm really well. How you, Prodigy? Happy to be here. Very, very happy to be here. Ready for the questions.
Oh
Don't know
yeah,
what they are, but
I'm
always looking forward
super
to it.
excited to have you on the show today. Got some awesome, hopefully awesome questions, and we'd love to hear your feedback. Um,
Cool.
and yeah, just we'll go ahead and dive into this. So first off, I'd like to ask what got you started in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, great question. I mean, going in on the deep end, Prodigy for sure. So basically, it all goes back to when I was actually living in Italy at the time. I was at a friend's birthday party. I think I was like maybe 6 years old. I can't really remember. But I think it was in 2004, 2003. So obviously you're thinking like original, you're going back to Duel Monsters. So obviously I started really young, and it was like I was just leaving his party, and he comes around with like a massive bowl full of like Magic Ruler Italian packs, and he's like, "Yeah, this take one on your way out," and I'm like, "No, no, it's cool, it's cool.
Oh
I
wow.
don't really." And then he goes, "No, I insist. Take it," and I was like, "Okay." So I took it out, opened it. I think I got Manga Ryuran in that MRL pack with Crab Turtle in there, and it was just that pack is just so nostalgic for me. So that's pretty much where I got started, and then obviously I fell out of touch with it when I kind of moved to the UK and like joined like middle school. So I was like 12, 13. So that was like mid 5Ds,
Uh huh.
and ever since I just started playing Duel Links in like 2017, 2018, kind of got back into it. And then I just started, yeah, it just all exploded from then. Really, I was like, let's start a channel, let's go on Instagram, let's make the most of the hobby, which I should have been doing my whole life. Like I seriously regret not playing Yu-Gi-Oh like throughout my whole life. Obviously, I had that cool phase where I thought it was too cool to play the game and collect, and people would hate if I did it. But then looking back, I just missed out on so many years of just collecting and all the what if I had my collection, what if I still bought the packs, and yeah, that's pretty much in a short answer. Like what got me into Yu-Gi-Oh. Like my friend, it all started from one small decision to take the free pack, and then it just exploded from there. Really.
Oh man, that's epic. If anything, you'd probably saved a little bit more money back in the day.
Oh my god, yeah, definitely. My parents, every time they talk to me about Yu-Gi-Oh, like all they say is how many packs and how much money did we spend. They say waste, but I say invested into the game.
Oh,
It was
totally.
hilarious. Yeah,
So, I mean, that brings up a good question. What would you say is your favorite card of all time and why?
it's a really good question. So I'd say favorite card is probably for me the most nostalgic card. Well, I'd give you two answers for this, but if I had to say and choose a favorite card of all time, I probably would say there's the card that I first ever saw when I opened that pack was Crab Turtle. I'm a Cancer star sign, so crab, and I really like turtles as an animal as well.
Right.
Yeah, that sentimental value towards it. So I'd probably say Crab Turtle, but then again, there's just so many cards. But I like it to be Crab Turtle just because it's probably no one's favorite card. So I'd say that Crab Turtle is my favorite card.
But obviously, it means something too because that was the first card you ever saw, right? So, I mean,
Exactly.
that's pretty nostalgic. I mean,
Yeah.
you can never take back that memory. So, I can
Right.
understand that, man. That's actually pretty cool.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
so, I guess feeding off that question, what would you say is your most rarest or most valuable card that you own in your collection?
Okay, I know. Great question. I'm happy to say that it's a car that I actually had with me again for quite a sentimental reason. So I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh 2018, like sort of the end of 2018, so like summer slash autumn of 2018,
Okay.
and that's when I was trying to find my album, my binder full of cards, and I knew I had it somewhere, so I eventually found it and went through it. I've still got some pictures of it, and in there I actually had my Rainbow Dragon Ghost Rare
Oh
first
goodness.
edition, right?
Uh oh.
No sleeve, just put in a binder with another card behind it, also with no sleeve, and it just sat because I packed
Oh.
that card when I think I packed it in 2008, so the year after Tactical Evolution.
Uh,
I packed it. I literally packed it. I still remember where I was when I packed it as well. I was in the weirdest of places. I was in my bathroom and I packed it. I don't know what I was doing in the bathroom, but I packed the Rainbow Dragon in my bathroom back when I was not in this house, but in a couple of houses ago. And yeah, that card had sat in a binder for like 8 years, 9 years, no sleeve. Got it out, graded in my first ever submission. Obviously, grading cards from the UK is quite difficult because it's
Right.
such a slow process.
Oh, for
I sent
sure.
them to a guy to grade it on my behalf, and it came back PSA 10, baby.
Oh, even though there was no sleeve on it, it was behind another
Those
card.
absolutely
Wow.
crazy, and at the time I wanted to sell it for $600, and now it's just sold for I think 3,500. One was the recent sale a couple of weeks ago. I've got it on eBay actually. Like a sold listing was $3,500.
Oh,
Yeah, crazy.
man.
So it's gone up like 7 times its value in like 2 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, the market is it's gone bananas in the last 3 months. It's, this whole COVID-19 has just got people buying and buying and it's crazy.
You think it'd be
Uh,
the other way around, but I was just having that conversation with my brother. I think it's because people have extra time. Like obviously over here in the UK anyway, people's jobs were like put on hold, and they pay you to stay at home. So
mhm.
you got money, you're at home, you're gonna rediscover your passions and hobbies. So
More
that's
time
why.
they're not, they're not going out to spending in the movies or, going out to eat. Instead they're staying home, eating TV dinners and buying stuff on eBay.
Exactly. That's it.
um,
That's it. Right.
so I mean with your man, you're getting a amazing collection. I've noticed, obviously, and just just the products that you're getting. Do you have any idea what do you think your collection's worth?
Oh wow! I wish I did. I think I should know the answer to this question. I think I should really keep some spreadsheet as to what kind of sealed stuff I have, as opposed to what kind of like raw value and what kind of PSA value. But I'd say I divide it up into those three sections. So I say I have a lot of sealed, like 5D stuff, really, which is kind of like I just throw a value of all my sealed products to be. I'd say probably around, if I had to guess, probably around, because I've invested a lot into it as well.
Yeah.
I'd probably say I'd say anywhere between 20 and 30,000 if I'd have to say sealed stuff wise.
So
Yeah,
a brand new
some of the
car,
packs,
pretty
like
much.
you take a Duelist Revolution and Duelist Genesis and like all those 5D packs, they're like $50 a pack, right? And if I'm sitting on 20, that's like what, $1,000 there.
Yeah.
Three, so I'd say around 20. Let's just say 25 for sealed, and then like PSA cards. I mean, I've got a lot of like Ghost Rares and Ultimate Rare 10s, and I'd probably say around, probably, yeah, again, 15, 20,000 mark for those as well.
Man.
PSA, and then raw cards maybe less, because if it's not graded, I'd probably say anywhere like between 5 and 6,000, because there's nothing. I haven't got any like Blue Eyes or anything OG. I don't really have,
Hmm.
but I've got some cool boxes which I've obviously opened on the channel.
Oh yeah. Well, we're definitely looking forward to those. I'm pretty
For
excited,
sure.
especially with your Phronic Guardian box opening. I'm pretty stoked about that coming next week. So, um, but man, a 50,000 collection. That's impressive,
Yeah,
and
I'd put a number on it, probably 50,000. Yeah, that's a good
um,
number.
that's
That's a
a
fair number.
that's a good brand new SUV. um, but
Exactly.
we collect what what we value and what means the world to us, and kudos to you on that. That's really cool, man.
Thanks, bro.
So I guess another feeding off, the value of your collection. Do you have any idea like how many sealed boxes you have? Like a rough estimate?
Yeah, I do. I keep my sealed boxes on. I'm trying to buy like those protected cases to put them in, because I just store them in like some protected cardboard boxes with some like wrapping over them, so it's not really well protected. But as a number, I'd say I've got about maybe a couple of GX boxes, a couple of OG boxes. Thankfully, first edition for those ones. Managed to
Right.
do a nice trade to get those. Probably around, yeah, 30 to 40 steel boxes, but there's a lot of, as I say, 5Ds and Zexal in there. I'm just starting to invest in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal
Mm-hmm.
as well. I think because obviously I'm 23, just turned 23, so I'm still of those sort of younger 5Ds. I never watched Zexal, but I'm watching it now, like for the first time, so I
Right.
can relate to it. And like I think it's definitely a good starting place if you're like a junior collector junior age and like juniors and starting out
Right.
to invest anything really. Like Zexal 5Ds now is getting expensive, but I'd say probably around 35 sealed boxes that I have on estimate, maybe 40, but it could be 30 somewhere along those lines.
Do you plan on keeping those sealed, or do you plan on opening those on the channel, or is it just depend?
Yeah, so if ever I want to open something, I'd probably get like like 2 or 3 copies of it, so I can afford to open one on the channel. So because they're not very expensive and it's fun content to do, I definitely open a lot on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like the first edition, harder to find boxes, probably well, open them, but only when we reach like as you say 2,000, 3,000 subscribers, which is a
Like a
slow
big
process,
subscribers
but
special for sure.
it's goes slowly and at your own rate really. But yeah, I'd probably do them for the milestones, like the Pharaonic Guardian. Like, I don't know if you've seen, I've got like a Magic Ruler, I've got a Pharaoh Servant, and a Legacy of Darkness 36 pack box as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those are all like as my goals. That's like the 2, 3, and 4, and 5,000 subscriber specials. So that's what I'm planning to do for those ones.
Well, you guys hear that? Who's watching this video? Get this guy to these subscriber numbers because we want to see these epic openings. That's
I mean,
exciting.
as you say, man, it's all fun, and it is for the nostalgia purposes. Really, it's because obviously you open and you can grade stuff anyway, so you can make your money back through grading, which is great. I'm a massive believer of grading.
Right. Oh, for sure. Same here. Especially, you're gambling when you open a box, regardless of what box it is. But just being able to try your luck at it, it's fun. It's nostalgic. It brings back childhood memories, and I feel like that's
100%.
what people love on your channel. Hopefully, my channel and other YouTube channels is they have that feeling of their childhood. It brings back the memories, So.
100%,
Um,
definitely.
So at least on like collection goals, where do you see like your collection or what do you look to collecting in the next to the end of the year, the next 5 years? What's your goals on it?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. These are really good questions, Prodigy.
I'm trying, man, trying to make it entertaining and fun
Absolutely.
for you and everybody.
Yeah, so luckily, when I came back into Yu-Gi-Oh, I kind of came back really strong because I knew what I wanted when I came in. So I wanted all the cover cards, basically. I wanted all of the front cover cards, the picture card, the one that's on the box, that's on the pack, that's on the blisters. For example, I wanted all of them from Soul of the Duelist until the end of 5Ds. So GX and 5Ds. OG, I have an OG binder. It's quite good, but something about not Zexal, sorry, GX and 5Ds that because I was already late to the collecting party when I came in, like Duel Monsters was already quite well. Now it's like here, but when I came in, it was still quite high. I saw more of an opportunity in those kind of eras, so I pounced upon buying near mint like Ancient Gear Golems, Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8, like all these cards I know you're familiar with, Prodigy, but obviously you're more of a LOB Duel Monsters kind of guy. But just me personally, it was picking up all those alties and ghosts and picking them up for $80 near mint, and then 100, then 150, and I could see them rising as I was buying them. Cyber End Dragon, I missed a couple for like $100, but now they're like what $500-$600 near mint alties,
Getting out of
and
hand.
I got mine for like 300, 250, and which is at the time like what am I doing? I'm spending like a tenth of my wage or like an eighth of my wage on Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and people called me crazy. And now I just show them it's just such a worthwhile investment, and I don't regret it for a thing for a minute. Like, so I knew what I wanted, like the cover cards for GX, and when I could buy some packs and like make some artworks, I've got like some frames which are quite cool.
Yeah,
With
I
like
saw your
seal packs
picture
in,
frame.
with
The booster pack ones. That was pretty
yeah,
cool.
pack that I won from your giveaway.
Yeah, I like that one.
That was,
Keep that one sealed
yeah.
for sure.
It's still there. It's still. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Probably just keep it forever because it's just sentimental.
Heck yeah.
And yeah, so my collection goal in the future would probably be just pick up those last few cover cards that I need. I still need a Shining Flare Wingman, which is a very expensive card. The one I picked up unfortunately arrived damaged.
Was that Troll and Toad?
No, it was just some guy on Facebook. I buy a lot of my stuff on Facebook.
Oh,
Secrets.
There you go.
There's a lot of good on Facebook, guys.
A lot of people on Facebook, for instance, they don't really know what they have. I feel like so.
100%.
Good way to pick up some good bargains and stuff. There's a ton of websites, but I mean Facebook's one of the most well known for the marketplace for stuff like that.
100%. No, yeah, Facebook. I get my stuff from Facebook, eBay, and where else do I get my stuff from? Mainly those two places, to be honest. I mean, there's a couple of other sites here in the UK, like you've got Gumtree, and you've also got like there was this other place.
Do you use like Macari or OfferUp,
Yeah,
anything like
yeah,
that?
similar. Like there's some other places in the UK. There's like I used a nice company. It's like an online store. It's Chaos Cards. That's pretty good here in the UK. If anyone's
Okay.
watching UK, I'm sure you've heard of it, but they've got some good stuff sometimes.
I don't know if they ship to the U.S. So. um,
Probably not. I don't think. I also use like Clerks Trading as well and Sleeping Dragon Gaming. I collab with them quite a lot on the channel
yeah,
just to support your local businesses and get people where they can to support your local, really, as
that's
opposed to name Walmart and all those people. We don't have any of that stuff over here anyway. I wish we did.
yeah. Without a Walmart, man, that's tough. I don't know. I guess you have something similar or something like Costco or something like.
We
Or
have a few Costco's, but very, very few. Maybe like 5 in the country or 6 in the country, I think.
oh wow, that's a pretty big country to have that small amount of stores, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
indeed. There's not many places you can go out and buy Yu-Gi-Oh here. It's really not existing as much as it used to be.
oh,
100%.
well, I guess we have a slight advantage with that here in America. Then there's so many
Dude.
stores. Like, yeah, it's crazy the old school stuff that you can find. Like we have like Party City and even the Dollar Tree sells Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon cards now and then. It just depends, which
Yeah.
locations and stuff. But
Awesome.
so, so at least with your collection, I'm always curious to ask a collector this: do you ever see yourself selling your collection, the entire thing, a portion of it, or is it
Wow.
something that you plan on holding for life? And give it down to an inheritance to your kids or to your family or something in the future, or what do you see it as in the future?
This is where I look up into the sky and play the dreamy music as I look into into Casual's future. Um, wow. I hadn't thought that far ahead, to be honest with you, Prodigy Man. I think for now I'm comfortable adding, but collecting and I probably would sell some of them, like maybe my kind of like sealed boxes, because I've got a few duplicate of things, right? So I only really need one of anything, and my collection is quite broad at the moment. I will see myself selling some to refine it, and also to sort of recoup some profits when the time of need comes. Because obviously, like I'm still living at home with my parents. I plan to move out, but when those responsibilities come in, I'm sure there'll be times where I will need to, financially actually sell, maybe a PSA card or a couple of boxes to make a few extra pounds that month or whatever to get the bills over the line. I have lived away from home before and I know what it's like, but currently, like, I've got my job, I'm like sort of saving and collecting at the same time. So I have the luxury, but I definitely see myself selling and downsizing maybe in the next 2 3 years, and then like let's say 5 10 years ahead. Again, in time of need, sell, but I'd happily pass down my collection to my children one day. But I do have children, yeah, definitely. I'd love to pass the baton, and who knows what my cards will be worth then. It's a crazy thought to think about, really.
Pass the torch to them and have them open up their own stuff that you had. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I need the channel.
Um,
If YouTube will still be with us, who knows?
right. It'll be interesting to see what the future holds. If
Exactly.
all the, I mean, you have companies like J.C. Penney, Sears going out of business, like and they've been
Yeah,
around 80 something years. Like, so
crazy.
I guess getting off topic there, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Um, so another question I always like to ask, because I'm
Sure.
big into the investments and curious on, yeah, big time collectors, what they think of What do you think is a good value? What do you think is not a good value? So I guess my question is, what do you feel like is the most underrated card on the Yu-Gi-Oh market?
right now.
So like if you see something online right now and you're like, man, that's just a low price, you might want to scoop that up. What would you
Hmm.
say would be just something that's you see it climbing in value, but like people just aren't noticing it right now?
Okay, so it's still like in its early stages, but it will shoot up eventually. Again, obviously, I'll probably give an answer for my perspective, but also like I think some of the clear and obvious answers. So you see, like you benchmark the Yu-Gi-Oh market against Pokemon and Magic, right? Probably that's probably the
Best
most logical way
example,
to do it.
right?
So what I would say is just taking them for an example. Like I don't know much about either, but I just try and follow, your Charizards, your base set stuff, which you can only really relate what to LOB and maybe Duel Monsters as a whole. So because Duel Monsters is the first Yu-Gi-Oh Yu-Gi-Oh of Yu-Gi-Ohs, I would say stuff in that area is being slept on. For example, like first edition boxes, they were, let's say, 6 months ago, not not half, but maybe 60% of the prices that they are now. It's crazy. Like as you say, I caught you talking about LOB this morning on your Instagram live,
Mm-hmm.
um, Prodigy, and yeah, you're right. I think I agree in saying LOB is definitely an amazing investment because it's probably one of the best to do. But I just can see myself. Well, little do I have enough money to invest in a box, for example. But that if you had the money and you're like a serious investor and want to invest like yeah, for profit, probably you're right. LOB, MRD boxes, first edition blisters, all those kinds of fun stuff. And really tins as well. Like there's a lot of stuff, but maybe single cards wise, I'd probably say cover cards from the packs from Duel Monsters. So like your Hell Poema, for example, Hell Poema, you've got your Exodia Necros, your well, obviously Dark Paladin is huge, but cards like Beast Skull Dragon I think is a huge card because obviously recently we saw Dark Paladin sort of not rival Blue Eyes, but it came up a lot. I
Right.
think Beat Skull Dragon could be one of those cards, and obviously like Relinquished as well. I know you got the starter deck Relinquished, which is the same rarity in first edition as well. But like the Magic Ruler, like maybe Blue Eyes Toon Dragon, I think is a great card. All those kind of like slept on cards. I think like maybe Serpent Knight Dragon, Jinzo, but also Thousand Eyes Restrict, which is the cover card. Because when you think of PSV, you think Jinzo, you think maybe Imperial Order. But those ultra rares, I think, especially quite difficult to find and low pop PSA 10s. So I'd maybe say the cover cards. I don't know. I'm a massive fan of cover cards.
No, it makes sense. I mean, that's their advertisements. That's the it's the nostalgia. It's on the box itself, and if you
Yeah,
pull a cover card even on the new sets, it's exciting. It's you're like, wow, look at this compared to the box, compared to the card, and it's
yeah.
it meshes well. So I agree with that. Actually, I think that's really solid. A lot of those sets are very undervalued. I mean, you're starting to
Mm.
see them climb up, but I still think we are. I wouldn't say in the early stages, but I'd say we're probably in the mid stages of where I think the Yu-Gi-Oh market will go.
Entering into the stages, right? Like sort of early mid stages. Yeah, I agree.
Because I mean,
I,
if you look at it, the best like we were talking about a minute ago on like the versus Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. Pokemon is, I would say, probably 7 years ahead of Yu-Gi-Oh when it comes to market value,
wow.
but we're catching up, and a lot of these people that are in Pokemon, they're converting into the Yu-Gi-Oh market. So I feel like that's why you're seeing a big jump in prices too. Is
True.
um, they're seeing the nostalgia in it as well, and you have a lot of big collectors that they dabble in mostly what they're into, like if it's just straight, just mostly Pokemon or just mostly Yu-Gi-Oh, but they're also diversifying their portfolio. I've noticed that a lot with a lot of collectors, which is it's really exciting because it's growing the market. It's finally getting the attention that Yu-Gi-Oh deserves, which is it's
Well,
exciting except to the point trying to find the stuff that I want to buy and it's overpriced. So
exactly.
um,
Exactly. When the investors come in, they kind of steal the fun from the people who probably actually would get more of a wow sense of having a card which is nostalgic and reminiscent for them.
Hmm.
That's the thing. It's good for those who have the stuff, but if you're, as you say, coming into a market which is already kind of saturated with investors in, it's really difficult to kind of get established. I have people ask me on Instagram like, "What's your best advice? Where would you get stuff from? Where's like the cheapest and most reliable places?" And I'm just like, look, pretty much the Instagram community. I'd say we've got a great community. There have been horror stories of people getting scammed and everything, but I always can vouch for the Yu-Gi-Oh Instagram community because it's so nice and friendly. Like I started a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and people thank me for messaging them back, and I'm like, guys, don't be silly. Like I'm happy to give my advice and opinion whenever I can. So yeah, it's just probably massive, massive things to come for Yu-Gi-Oh. I think as an investing and collecting world, definitely, it's gonna grow for sure. It's never gonna drop. I don't think. I agreed with you.
I
I don't
think
think it will for a while. I don't think
exactly.
it will.
It might
Uh,
level off, but I don't ever see the market crashing. I hear all the time people are nervous that, oh, it's going to crash, it's going to crash. Why would it crash? It's something that it's very meaningful to people's childhood and memories. Like depending on what card it is, like you'll see. I feel like you'll see a roller coaster of certain
mm,
cards, but the old school stuff is gonna just rise in value for a couple reasons. They don't make it anymore. It's every
mm-hmm.
time somebody opens something awesome on their channel, that means that's one less box left on the market, and which
Exactly.
means one less that someone can get a hold of, which makes it more valuable. So I totally agree with that. I think it's it's interesting, it's fun, but you
Sure.
gotta have. It's starting to get to the point where people gotta have deeper pockets if you're wanting to
Yeah.
get some of
No,
these
I
things
know.
that you're wanting. Which I'd say that's the only downside I would say of it, especially with the investors that are coming into the market with it.
100%. 100%. The investors got to look out for them. They are coming in fast.
You got people like Gary Vee jumping in, and I mean
Yeah.
he's a high roller, man. um,
For
so
sure.
at least on we talked about the most underrated card. On the flip side of that, what would you say is like the most hyped up overrated card on the market? Like where do you think like one
Mm.
specific card that is just, oh, they're wanting it this much, I just don't think it's worth that much? What would you say?
Nice question, man. Nice question. Well, at the moment, it's definitely the Dark Magician Girl from the Lost Art promo. I think that's a card which you should be getting for free if people are trying to price hype it and buy it out for like $60 or whatever
60,
they were.
70 on eBay.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's probably in the now, but that will soon change. But like as an all-time, or what I've noticed, trend of a card that's overpriced, I'd probably say does it have to be a card, yeah, or like a anything?
I mean, prefer a card, but I mean, if you're thinking of like a box instead, sure.
Hmm.
You know,
I'd probably say 10,000 Dragon is the most overrated card in my opinion right now.
and
I'm
what?
not a fan of it. I don't like the 10,000 Dragon.
So
Maybe because I open no blast, but I don't like the card, man. I think it's a money card. It's a money hoard card. Like it was only made because it's something shouldn't be made to be worth a lot of money. There's no like nostalgia. There's no sentiment. There's just the difficulty to pull it right. That's the only stage thing behind the card. And it says 10,000. Okay, it's pretty cool. But if Konami really wanted to, they could have done that for the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000.
right?
Like that card was made to be valuable, and people have over exaggerated it. It's just that the card effect's no good. Sure, it's got a really cool foil to it. It's what prismatic, like different kind of prismatic.
Right.
Or yeah, that's the card I'd say is definitely overrated in my opinion.
I can agree with that because I mean I was just watching it. I spend too much time on eBay, but seeing the sold listings of seeing the Thousand Dragons selling for 1,200 raw copy, and even off centered and 12, 1,500, and then here I'm not 100%, but hearing of a few sales on Instagram of $3,000 and $4,000 for a PSA 10 in it. I just I don't I agree with you. I don't see the appeal because, like you said, it's not a really playable card. It's got a cool
No.
design with like it shows the 10,000 in it. That's kind of cool, but it's not something that was part of the show. It's not something that's, to me, brings back memories, and that's why I invest in the products that I invest in. Is it's something that it's attached to my childhood. It's attached to what I enjoyed, and
Exactly.
I think that's where the hype comes in. You know,
Exactly. Because with that, you could easily get the whole set of, other than let's say Dark Paladin and maybe Demok, Dark Magician of Chaos. You could probably get like your V Skull Dragon. You could get your Relinquished. You could get maybe like Hell Palmer. You could probably get like a Thousand Eyes or all PSA 10 for like 4,000, 5,000, however much it's selling for. Because you're right in saying, where the hell did it come from? 10,000 Dragon. Like, yeah, sure, 10,000's card. It's kind of like Thousand Dragon, but it's not.
all right.
I have Thousand Dragon and 10,000 Dragon personally.
Yeah, I like the old school and the MRD. Man, that dragon was dope. Joey's card, so he used with Time Wizard. That was very nostalgic to me. Like that should be worth more than the
For
10,000
sure.
dragon. That it's just brings back good memories. Um, Flipping to another question here for you. What
Sure, man. Yeah.
For a YouTube channel, what do you watch? Obviously, you spend a lot of time on your channel, but like other YouTubers, who's your like go to uh, channel that you like to watch, or not even necessarily as them, or if it's their content, or just curious, who do you watch? Who do you watch?
Yu-Gi-Oh channels, right? Not just like personal preferences.
Prefer Yu-Gi-Oh channel, but if there's other stuff
Yeah.
that you watch as well, that's just like, man, I gotta watch it. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I would say that I am quite religious when I like religiously watching. I'd have to say like Simply Unlucky, massive. He's like my number one of the whole thing, of the whole YouTube, because I think he's like the best of the best. Obviously, he grew his. He was like us, right? Had a dream, and he realized that dream. He made the dream. So Simply Unlucky, definitely a really
He's
nice guy, Roman, and you met him, which was so cool.
Yeah, awesome
That's
guy,
so
man.
cool.
He's
That's
not
so
just
cool.
awesome on his channel, but just in person. Just he's so
Yeah.
smooth, man. You can tell the experience. Just as a veteran, man, the guy's just he's been around. He knows it like the back of his hand, and
That's
it
so
was
cool.
it was one of the coolest moments I would say, and anything Yu-Gi-Oh related that I've ever had in my life was getting to do a video with him and pulling fire and just our
Yeah.
conversation was
That fusion, right?
yeah,
Was it? Yeah,
yeah,
it was, yeah.
the
I remember those videos, man. And also with Jobber, you got the Bandai deck of cards, Blue Eyes, right?
uh,
The top,
to way, yeah.
yeah,
But pulling that blue eyes and red eyes with Jobber, that was intense. That was
yeah.
overwhelming. That was probably my biggest moment of like
Best
nostalgia.
day.
It was overwhelming. Like I'll tell you the story real quick. There was like 10,000 people still left in the tournament at YCS, and everyone there was so quiet. They're all dueling. Everyone's pretty much whispering, and then all of a sudden they hear me screaming, "Oh yeah, oh yeah!" The whole crowd shifts over to me and Jobber, and Jobber is like, he's excited, but like we're freaking out, like they're gonna kick us out,
I'm not him.
but
That's so fun.
that was
And
epic.
yeah, Jobber definitely I love. I think again he's so down to earth. I really like him. I watch you. I do watch you, Prodigy. I
Yeah,
love your videos. They are really, really good, especially all the outdoor ones. You've done them with your brother. You've done them like at the lake on rooftops. I loved my favorite of your videos when you pack the creator with that massive fan in like your back garden at like 3 a.m. That's my
oh
personal favorite. I don't know why? Because I think there was a dog with you, no?
yeah,
In
it
that
was,
video.
my
Yeah, yeah.
Maltese
Dog
dog
was
was with
cute
us.
as well.
But I had no idea the
That was
fan
cool.
was gonna go off. I've started the video. I can't pause it. We've opened the
Three
box.
in
Like,
the box, right? Three ultis.
yeah, three ultis, and
That's
that
insane.
was
That's like error box, man. That was so epic. And who else did I watch? I think this morning you mentioned Dr. Chickens. I watched Dr. Chickens. I'd say 2 out of 3 videos that he posts because he posts a lot. He's really, really amazing, and he's so funny. He's really, really good. He's like one of those quirky guys who's got so many different and fun and cool things going for his channel. Like yes, you said his dog and the fact that his accent is he just you laugh with him as well as at him, you laugh with him. He's so cool.
He's
He's
very
awesome.
entertaining. Like his dog Django, I like how he brings that in. No one's done that.
No,
He brings him in on the
exactly.
green screen, which is cool. And
Yeah, so
but
cool, man. It's
if
so
if
good.
if anything for him though, definitely shout out to Dr. Chickens. He's up and coming, man. He only very low subscribers. I think maybe like 250, but he's so entertaining. And his
Hmm.
and one thing I was talking to him about just last night even was I really like his transitions. Is that's something I need to work on my channel. Is I feel like
Oh,
it's people sometimes have short attention spans, but he's really good at converting it where he says something and it goes into something else, and so it's capturing my attention, and I feel like
you did.
it's really huge
It
with the
really is.
audience, especially because pack openings are awesome, but if you can't keep the attention of everybody, that's when you have the low you know uh,
Mid-
minutes and
Watch.
watch views time. So, and I kudos to him on that. I think he's a pretty cool guy too. So
100%. And maybe just to name a few more, I'd say I like Rhyme Style. He's fun. He's cool to watch. He's very energetic, kind of like a toned down Dr. Chickens, but focusing on the opening.
yeah,
Uh, I do watch Ruxin34. I think he's like one of the guys who I would have liked to have had the success he's had. But he puts in so much effort into his videos. Like he even says in his videos, like he's editing 3 hours every night to try and record and do everything. It's just when you think about it from like an outsider's perspective, you're like, oh my god, yeah, he's doing all these videos. Like basically, I'm doing the exact same thing. Like why am I not at 20,000 subscribers like he is? But then again, his quality and quantity of like he put out a video every day for like a whole year. Like that's insane. That's
he,
such a
I think he
and
had 500
hard.
videos before it really started taking off. And
Yeah,
I mean, but kudos to the guy, man. He's
yeah,
consistent, and that's the
so
biggest thing is when you're consistently getting the content out there, and like you said, if anything, I feel like you're on the same path though, man, because you're doing really good collaborations. You're getting big collaborations. This what your second collaboration with Jobber, for instance.
right.
You've battled the old school expert. You've had
Definitely watch. Well,
and
how could I think?
oh yeah, definitely one of the biggest names ever.
He was epic. He's
Um,
epic. Cool guy.
but all these
Uh,
big names though, that's a huge thing in being part of the community and growing your following is hands down doing the collaborations, being consistent. If I know Casual Yugi stuff is gonna be dropping a video at this time, I'm gonna be pumped about it. It's gonna be I know what to expect. And that's why you're seeing your channel. You've hit 2,000 now. This time next year, you could be 50,000. It would not surprise me. It really wouldn't.
oh man, yeah. Thank you so much, Roger. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and maybe a few more YouTubers that I don't want to miss out because I feel like they deserve it. Yugimo, I love Yugimo. He's very fun. I love that he's finally got face cam videos
I
now.
told him that he had to get the
He
face
should have
cam
been doing
going.
it a long time ago, but I don't know. Obviously, it's
He's
difficult to think. You taught me how to do face cam, for example.
he's
You taught me.
oh, that's
You
I'm
do that,
pretty.
man. You do that.
That makes me
Obviously,
feel good
it
though.
really helps.
If anything though, Yugimo, he's entertaining, man. He's got a fun personality, and I loved when we got to do our little battle. Like he was just pretty funny about it. Like I don't know if you got to see all of it, but it was just very not only interesting, but like he's a quick witted kind of guy. The best way to explain it, like just during the opening of it, just some of the comments that he made was just it was funny. It was entertaining. So and that's what I feel like the people want in the community. They want awesome content. They want a personable experience where they can relate with the other person and pull something amazing. It's not just
Together,
pulling the card,
exactly.
but I feel like it's also the
Experience.
experience of hey, I know this guy somewhat. Uh, you know,
Exactly.
and that's a big thing too. Is I notice what you do very well, what Ruxin does very well, which and a lot of other creators do very well is they comment on and if someone makes a comment to them, they reply back. And a lot of big names don't do that.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
that's what keeps people very personable. Like the name that comes to mind when I think of a huge channel, but he still comments on pretty much every comment is Leonhardt. The guy that opens the Pokemon packs.
I've
He
heard of that guy. Yeah.
he probably has 50,000 comments, and he'll comment on every one of them, which I think is huge, and that's keeps people engaged and stuff. Um,
Definitely.
so
And I also want to say a couple more channels that I do watch. Do you remember the guy? I think his name was Yu-Gi-Oh! Old School. Yu-Gi-Oh! Old School. Like he's German, and he was really cool. He's not done many videos recently. Yu-Gi-Oh! Old School. Yeah,
yeah,
it was Yu-Gi-Oh! Old School.
he opened
He
up
was.
LOB
He
to
was cool.
AST, I believe.
Yeah, he opened an LB box. Got Exodia and I think
Pulled Blue Eyes.
Blue Eyes probably. Yeah, it was a good box. Yeah, I remembered Exodia, but not Blue Eyes. I want to say a channel which I think is probably the most underrated channel. I don't know if you know of him, but Mike from the Collector's Vault. That guy is so cool. I love his videos. I watch his minutes from start to finish.
Really,
I don't know if you've heard of the Collector's Vault.
I've heard the name. I don't think I've seen the channel though, but I'll write that one down. I'll go check
He
that
does
out.
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I obviously watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos, and I watch them all. And yeah, he's just I don't know. I buy into the guy, man. He did some cool things. Like he did himself like recording, going to like a not a thrift shop. You guys call them like when there's you go to a place, swap meet,
Swap meets? Yeah.
yeah, swap meet, and
That's where I find a lot of my old stuff, by the way.
cool, creative content, and he's just so cool, and he's actually very wise as well. He has a lot of knowledge, and he's just got like 200, 300 subscribers, man. I think he puts his heart and soul into his videos, and although I wish he did more videos. That's what if he's watching, I wish he did more videos.
You hear that, Collector's Vault? You gotta put out some more content, man. We gotta see it.
We want it. Definitely. I'm sure there's more people that I haven't mentioned. Old School Expert, of course. Who else is there? Simo sometimes. Team Samurai. Those kind of people who like still stick with the modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And like Team APS as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're cool. I watch them if it comes up on suggestions, but I don't actually like actively follow them. Really, because I'm not much into the new stuff, and they always follow meta and talk about the modern game, and I'm just like, meh, I'm not really into that, you know.
Do you follow Cyber Knight at all? Do you watch any of his stuff?
Yeah, of course. Not recently, to be honest. Maybe not for like a couple of months, because I used to watch all of his videos when I had a lot of free time. To be fair, now it's just he just hasn't come up with my suggestions for a while, but. I think it's probably because he's not opened some like older stuff for a while. I think he's opening again sort of the modern stuff, which is what you transition into naturally. But I'd rather watch quality, not quantity. I'd rather watch quality, and that's something you do for sure, Prodigy. You definitely open quality.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Sometimes it hurts my pockets.
I know.
So
someone's.
I'm sorry.
Someone's got to do it. I mean, we all enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
You're doing it. Very thankful and very grateful.
So another question here, because I've noticed you used to only do like 1 or 2 videos a week, and then now it's every day. So what drives you to do a video almost every day now? Like, how do you find the time? What is making you want to do that?
Wow. Well. I have Casual Yugi stuff is, let's say, it's myself, who's obviously the image, the brand, and the face behind the show. Let's put it that way. But there's also someone very special who came into my life, not like my partner or anything. Someone very special. I'm talking about Joey Wheeler. He's very special.
Right.
Joey Wheeler guy, who I'm sure you know about, and my fans will, and my followers and subscribers will know about. This guy basically came in and did an audit of Casual Yugi stuff, and he's like, bro, if you want to be successful, you're gonna have to put out a video at least every other day or every day if you can. But it wasn't like that. He's such a nice guy. He's there to like help me. He helps me with like editing of my videos. He does all of my thumbnails. We like kind of share the channel, man, and he's so happy doing so. I really want to get him to come down, but he's long distance, so I wish that he was closer so we could actually do some stuff together. Like he helped me with like investment opportunities and like producing all this epic content. And the more content there is, the easier it is for me to make videos, you know, because I struggle for ideas and not really have much time. I just come home after work and maybe just chill. But now I'm coming home because I wanna do a video and I want to put it out and get nice feedback from my subscribers, and and he's like crazy on the analytics and like the stats, because he's told me that if you put out videos every day at a set hour every day, like I've chosen my time, 7 p.m. UK time, so it's like lunchtime in the States, you're gonna enter into the algorithm and you're gonna be more successful. So the more work you put into it, the more reward, basically. That's in short. Yeah, and Joey Wheeler had a massive influence over my over that. Yeah.
Well, we'd love to see him do an opening with you sometime. I think that would be one of your
Yeah.
most viewed videos. I bet it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
maybe in the
the boat
future.
he was supposed to come down plans, but oh, just went crazy. Sorry about that, man.
Oh, you're
I
good.
had an incoming call.
No, that's really cool. If anything, having a good sponsor behind you, man, you've got the whole community behind you, and you got a good backing from this guy. That's huge. A lot of people can't say that they got that, and
I'm
that's
lucky. I'm very lucky to have Joey Wheeler. He's kind of like Simply Unlucky's Kyber. I'm
yeah.
sure you've heard of him.
I know who
Yeah.
Simply Unlucky's Kyle is. I can't say, but yeah. And, no, he's awesome
Nice.
though. It's pretty cool.
That's
Um,
cool.
so I always like to ask this question. I haven't really asked it to too many of the people I've interviewed, but I'm curious what your opinion is on this. What do
Sure,
you
man.
or who do you think out of everyone in the whole community, the whole Yu-Gi-Oh community, who is what you would call the leader? Like, if is there one person that you feel like is the most like respected, the most like this is the guy? If there was a king of Yu-Gi-Oh, this would be this guy. And it doesn't
Ah,
necessarily have to be a YouTuber or an Instagrammer or a collector. It's just who would you say is like an example? SM Pratt. I consider him like the Pokemon leader. If that makes
okay.
sense. Who would that be in your opinion for Yu-Gi-Oh?
So I'm gonna obviously look at it from like a conformative opinion. So like I'd probably, because like me, I know who I'd want to choose as a leader, who would probably be the person I look up to the most. But if it had to be someone with a leader, I'd have to choose someone with good leadership skills, someone who knows how to, lead and run. There's a couple of names that spring to mind. I'm going to talk through them all, but then I'll choose one. So obviously you've got people like Gezi, right? Gezi, who I think is working collaborating with PSA at the moment, which is always handy. Someone who's got a good status, good knowledge, and good title. If he's working at PSA, he knows about every trading card under the sun.
Exactly.
Uh, I like and really respect the old school expert. I think he's massive.
Ian
I
is.
think
He's
he's
a pretty awesome
good.
guy.
He's very like calm, composed, cool. He knows a lot about everything. He's I've been on YouTube for a long time. Yu-Gi-Oh! I know Halo God as well. He is the king of sealed. I call him the king of products. He's huge. I feel like if there was a crisis in Yu-Gi-Oh, he would be the one supporting us with packs. He has an endless supply. He's definitely somebody who I would consider to be a strong leader for content and just nostalgia and seal stuff. But if I had to choose like some sort of leader, yeah, I'd probably have to lock it down and say, oh, well, again, you got people like Roxon. He's up there, respected, but I think he's still quite young in the fact that he's growing. Not everybody, but then again, simply unlucky. Like, there's so many people. There's so many people. If someone thinks Yu-Gi-Oh, what face of someone would you put behind it? You'd probably say in the collecting community, you'd probably say people like Gezi. But if you said people like on YouTube, probably like Simply Unlucky, man. I'd probably say Simply Unlucky. I'm gonna go lock in Simply Unlucky.
Locking in
Yeah.
simply unlucky. Is that your final answer?
I tend to talk too much, Prodigy. I'm not ready for the interview.
No, no, you're good, man. If anything, I feel like
Yeah.
most people would be on the same page with that. I think Gezi is a really good leader in the community. Like you said, very well respected. Does the work with PSA. He does the articles and very knowledgeable. And he his if anything, PSA wasn't aware of a lot of counterfeit cards, which is amazing because they used to PSA. I don't know if you were aware of this. They used to grade. It was the other day I was talking to Petty Party on Instagram about the first edition Man Eater Bug PSA 10 that was fake. there was a few of those that got through into PSA and they didn't realize that it was fake, even though it was. And like, that,
Can't
what's the word I'm
happen. Yeah,
looking
we've got
for?
and Gezu's one of the people to do that.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, if there's a something that I'm not aware of on the marketing or pricing, that's one of the people that I go to and ask him like, hey, is this, what do you think of this? I'm sure if he did it right, he could probably make a lot of money doing consulting for a lot of people because he knows this
Definitely.
stuff very, very well. Um,
Yeah,
and like you
yeah,
said, it's hard to say there's just one person, but those are the names that you mentioned are the same ones in my head as well. I'm thinking like the face
yeah.
of Yu-Gi-Oh. I would see, if I was plastering something on the wall, I'd probably be Simply Unlucky. If I was talking about a leader as in collectability and knowledge about it, Gezi definitely one of the top ones I would say. Um,
Exactly.
which this is going to be my final question from you, and then we're going to do a 15 quick thing, and I'll explain that.
Okay.
Um, now this one can get, oh, it's this kind of cringeworthy question.
That's
So bear with me here because it's
I'm a crazy guy. It's all good.
um, but yeah, we'll just go into it. Who would you say? I mean, and I pretty much already said this, but who would you say is the most liked person in the community, and then who would you say is the most disliked in the community?
Wow. Okay.
It's an interesting question, I know, but I'm always
That's interesting.
always curious.
I've always been like a kind of, I've always seen the good in people, so I've never really had any enemies. So it's going to be difficult to say the disliking person. I've always wanted people to like me, and I've always wanted to be liked and hopefully give back what I receive, right? Or give what I receive.
Well,
So
I got you.
for,
We get you.
you get what I mean. I'd probably say the most liked person in the community would probably be, wow. Okay, there are quite a few, you know. Again, I just want to talk you through my mind. I tell you who I like, and again, going back to the YouTubers that I watch, Vintage Yu-Gi-Oh is really nice. I like him a lot. I think he's quite cool,
Yeah,
and but I don't think he's well enough to be the most liked. The most liked old school expert. That's how I'd say.
yeah,
He's loved by a lot of people, man. It was so sad when he put over that video saying that he was going to stop making videos. I think we all knew deep down that he'd come back, and he did
yeah.
because he
I'm so
knows
glad
how
he
much
did.
we like him, right, and how much we enjoy his content. So he's come back, and I think he was probably the most liked and likable person.
Ian
I
is
speak
pretty
for
awesome.
myself, but I know a lot of people would agree with me. But as far as disliked,
Dun 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 dun.
yeah, who am I gonna say? This is exclusive content here, guys.
Exclusive guys.
To be honest, who is the most disliked in the community? I mean, there was that guy who had recently, obviously, been like scammed of like $8,000 or something. I think his name was what is his name? It's
Collect.
Collecting Conundrum, right?
Yeah,
That guy.
collector's conundrum. Yeah.
He was getting everyone to support him, like obviously to help him get his money back, and he did. Um, but yeah, I sold that guy a Dark Beginning One Blue Eyes for $100, PSA 10.
Uh huh.
I regretted it. I regret it. I shouldn't have sold him that Blue Eyes. It was beautiful. Um, I don't want to say that I dislike him because of it, but he's on there. He's on my list. Most disliked person. Um, yeah, I'm too much of a nice guy for you to answer that question.
No,
But
I
people
think
who scam people, those are the disliked people, man. People who either try to rip you off or hate on your videos or kind of don't want to like do collaborations and aren't believers in the spirit of the love of the game and of the community. Those are the people who should be disliked anyway.
I feel you on that. If anything, when I see, and luckily you don't have too bad of the problem with it with but like having one or two dislikes on your videos, if even one dislike, it's frustrating for a creator. People don't realize like the time and effort you put into the videos, and it you might have a video that is 10 times better than your next video, but that doesn't mean let's dislike it because I just don't like this guy, or the jealousy factor, or I mean there's a thousand
Yeah,
reasons why someone dislikes your video. But I totally agree. The scammers out there, you know, it's horrible for the community, and luckily there's a lot of good people out there that are willing to fight. You know, to like you going back to what you're saying with that story of the collector's conundrum getting, you know, he lost a big chunk of money. I think you said 8,000. I thought it was like a little bit more than that. But anyways, not the point. But the guy, he, I had an interesting. I'll tell a quick story. I'll get off topic for a second. Uh,
Sure.
he reached out to me one time and was like, "Hey man, this guy paid me and or I paid him and he never gave me my money back. Never got the card." So I was like, "Oh okay, I know this guy. I bought from him before. Let me holler at him for you and
Mm,
see what's going on." I was trying to help somebody out, you know,
for
and
sure.
reached out to the guy. He gave him his money back, and I was like, "Cool." You know, I felt like I did my good deed of the day. You know, got this
Mm,
guy his money back, and instead of him thanking me for it, he flipped it around like, "Oh, this is your homie? What can you give me the screenshots of what happened?" I'm like, "No, man. I told you I'd try my best to help you get your money back." And then he just I don't know. I have a degree in psychology, and I know when someone's trying to flip something around. So it was very cringeworthy of how that situation went down because I tried my best to help him out, you know, and he tried to
mm.
flip it like I'm colluding with this other guy, and I was like, all I did was just help you get your money back, and now you're upset about it. Like it was random story, but it was
Well, but I think that stems down to something I believe in also, Prodigy, Joseph. It will be appreciation. Always nice to be nice. Appreciate. I don't like people who don't appreciate. That's something I hate as well. So I'm with you on that one, man. That's crazy how that person didn't thank you.
I know
Silly.
I hate
That
to call
need
somebody
to
out
get
on that, but
attitude.
it it is what it is. You know, you learn from your mistakes, and you learn you can sometimes when you're too nice to somebody that can be bad, and I feel like that's sometimes my downfall is I try to be nice to everybody, and you know
Exactly.
it's
No, no.
you've got to have a balance because you can't let somebody use you. You know, that's for sure. Oh man, that's we've hopefully you've had fun so far on this interview. This
It's
has
been great,
been
man. It's been really good.
this has
It's
been
enjoyable.
this has been fun. Um, the last part of the interview here for you, Jamie. I've got 15 questions, and it's going to be a either or. It's going to be very like quick, so it's going to be like off the top of your head. So all I'm going to do is going to say, do you like this or this, and you're just going to pick one. So
Perfect.
so it's
Yep.
oh yeah, here we. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Welcome.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ooh,
So which do you prefer here? Yugi or Kaiba?
Yugi.
Bakura or Pegasus?
Pegasus.
Tristan or Joey?
Joey.
I knew that one. Glossy or wavy?
Glossy.
Blue eyes or red eyes?
Blue eyes.
Dark magician or dark magician girl?
Dark magician.
Blister packs or booster packs?
Blister packs.
Buying or selling?
Buying.
Oh yeah. PSA or BGS?
PSA.
eBay or Instagram?
Instagram.
Old sets or new sets?
New sets.
Quality or quantity?
Quality.
And the last one, collection or clout?
Collection.
Collection. There we go. All right. Well, that was awesome, Jamie. If anything, I'm glad that was really cool with the question thing. I appreciate your answers.
Fun, and I never had done anything like that before, to be honest. Like a yes or no, this or that. I've never done that, so that was really innovative. Great questions, man. Really, really good. Now we finally find out what kind of spontaneous answers I'm giving.
No, if anything, I think it's huge for the community. You know, picking your brain today. I appreciate you doing the interview with me, and I hope your followers, my followers, they not only enjoyed the interview but learned something. And
Oh yeah, definitely.
as much as it is of watching our videos doing something a little bit different today, I hope that they really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast
It's
interviewing you today.
it's
So
awesome. When you asked me, I was like, yes, I've always wanted to do something like this, and it's just really great for us across long distance to have these kind of conversations and just interact and feel comfortable discussing these sort of things, because the community is all about trust, right? So if you can do these kind of things with people, then you're definitely in the right community.
Oh, for sure. Guys, Casual Yugi stuff here. Prodigy here. Go check out his channel.
Prodigy, really appreciate it, man.
Anytime, man. But go check out this guy's channel. Amazing content. Very knowledgeable. Jamie he's an awesome guy as well too. Not just an awesome channel, but as a person, very highly looked upon in the community. And yeah, go check out his stuff, guys. He's got a lot of cool stuff to watch. So
thanks, Prodigy. Right back at you.
Appreciate that.
Love your content. Keep up the great work, for sure. And I'll keep it casual, and I'll see you soon, my friend.
Keeping it casual here in Prodigy, guys. I'll let you guys later.
And the next one, Dark Necrofear.
Necrofear.
That is a huge pull, guys.
Oh my goodness.
We're hoping to get red eyes,
I know.
blue eyes, of course.
No, blue eyes.
Oh, baby! Oh! Different Dimension Fusion. Oh, baby. First edition. That's what we're talking about.
Insect imitation.
Oh!